If you have any sort of issue with your bladder, like having to pee all the time or having pain when you pee or pain after sex or any sort of thing like that, you're going to want to listen to this. So when I was growing up, I always had pain with urination, and it was all the time. It got to the point where I thought that was normal. I thought everybody had pain when they peed. And when I was 18-ish, I went to my first urologist and had a very negative experience. So I basically told her what my symptoms were, and she was like, are you wiping front to back and shave your vagina? And I was like, okay, this is, not something that I want to be talking about as an 18-year-old. And so eventually I self-diagnosed myself through Dr. Google with a thing called interstitial cystitis. And I went to a new doctor who did a cystoscopy on me, which is a scope of the bladder. They look at your bladder wall to see if there's anything there that could be explaining your symptoms or looking for these little lesions called Hunner's lesions. And unfortunately, they didn't find anything in my, I guess you could say fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you want to look at it. Basically, they were like, yeah, your symptoms are consistent with IC, but there's nothing that we can really see on your cystoscopy. And so then the doctor gave me this list of foods and drinks to stop drinking that had spicy foods, alcohol, coffee, tomatoes, citrus, chocolate, literally everything that's fun, and said, don't eat these anymore. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So fast forward, years later, I had tried every single treatment that was offered to me, including really invasive treatments that actually made me worse and gave me a lot of medical PTSD. And so I was going through a lot of stress. I was in college at the time. My life was just not good. I was not thriving. So one day I hit rock bottom and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. I will give this stupid diet a chance. And I did my own little makeshift elimination diet, and I was a nutrition student in college, and I should have known what I was doing, but I really didn't. And so it was an absolute train wreck. But over the next few months, I was able to identify what my diet triggers were, and it actually wasn't as many things as I thought it was going to be. And I learned that I was able to have things like coffee, chocolate, whatever, in moderation. I also started working on managing my stress, and that was the biggest game changer for me. Minimizing my stress, going to therapy, talking about the shit in my life was so helpful. And so now I am actually one of only 2 registered dietitians in the whole world that specializes only in IC. So if you are struggling with IC and need help, send me a DM.